Hey everybody, Melissa Elsner here from The Profound Brunette, and I'm sharing a page today created for Just Nick Studio. I recently bought some sketch pins for my silhouette cameo, and I'm having lots of fun testing them out with different designs. For this page, I sketched the delicate florals cut file onto the base of the page, and to color them in, I'm using Pitt Artist Pens. They're the large brush markers from Faber-Castell, and I've listed the products that I've used today as well as the colors of these pens in the description box below this video. And I'm thankful for fast forward in these videos because the coloring took a long time, but it was a lot of fun. I'm not into the coloring book thing, but I can understand and appreciate why it's soothing for some. All right, so I'm using the Summer Vibes collection from Simple Stories for this page. Still loving this collection. It's one of my favorites that I have, and I'm really trying to salvage all the different pieces of it. I especially love this wood grain paper that I'm incorporating into the design of my page. I love those florals, and I knew that I wanted them not necessarily to shine, but I definitely wanted them to stand out in the overall design. So figuring out how to anchor the base of the page and also so that they weren't floating, because I do have them sketched right in the middle of my paper. So usually what I do with my pages, a lot of times I don't really know how I'm going to design it. And so I do a lot of cutting, I do a lot of pushing around of papers, and every once in a while I'll use a sketch. I do love how sketches can help me out when I'm I'm just having a hard time figuring out what to do with all the elements and how to place my photo and all that. So, but for this page, I did have a kind of a plan in my head. I knew where I wanted my photo, and I knew where I wanted the flowers. I just didn't know about everything else. So I wanted to start with that bottom part with the wood grain, and then from there I was experimenting with layering and figuring out how much color I wanted, figuring out just all the little details. For example, that scallop piece of paper that's right underneath the wood grain, little things like that I like to think about and throw in. And then when it came to my photo, figuring out how I wanted to anchor it and balance it out with those flowers without making it too heavy on the one side. I'm using a couple of other cut files here from Just Nick. I have the right here and that geotag with the heart. Both of those are from the Around the World cut file. And so I already knew where I wanted those. And at this point, I'm testing out different stickers and how to layer them, where I want them to go. And then I at first was going to use this July 2015 tag, and it stays there for a while, but you'll see that eventually I don't use it. I like to dump out my ephemera pack and separate it and just look through everything to figure out what I might use and what I will use and what I'm not going to use. And so at this point I'm just laying things out, seeing how they look, and that's really the best way that I can build a page. I just push things around. Finding another tag to tuck in there that I liked. And now I am moving on to the thing that took the longest with this page, and that was building my title. I placed that An Adventurer sticker at the top because I knew that I wanted to use black, and I wanted to bring it in the page so it wasn't just this one area that I'm using a black element. But this really proved to be a bigger challenge than I expected. I don't know why. I think I was overthinking, and I'm sure those of you watching might be able to relate to that. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put my letters. I was trying on top of the flowers, and it was too busy and it got lost. I was considering using another color from the Summer Vibes sticker pack, but I didn't like that. And then finally I thought maybe I'll combine a regular script, a serif, I guess you could call it, and then mix in some of the brush script from those word thickers. And that's what I ended up doing. I spelled out the word Tahoe with those thickers, and then I took in part of the phrase of that, meet me in the sunshine, and I put meet me in Tahoe. And so at this point, I'm just lining up everything and really appreciating at this point that some of my thickers, the adhesive isn't very strong, because then I can move it around and make it work for my page. And I finally figured it out, and I think I really liked how that looked. And then I knew I needed to add a little bit more black just to help balance it out. I'm very much a visual triangle designer. I have to make sure everything is balanced, even all the layers, and adding in the color. If I stare at a page and find my head leaning to one side, I know that I need to add a few other things. So adding in those tags just to help balance color. And I liked how it had the white in there too to help with some of the white space. And then of course enamel dots, figuring out if those are going to come into play. And I think I realized that they weren't, but I did choose one of those arrows from that sheet there just to throw in more black, because again, visual triangle girl. And then I wanted to add in some of the flowers, because with the doodle with those delicate flowers, I didn't want to just have them be the only floral element. So once again, the visual triangle, throwing in some flowers and adding some pop dots to help with some texture and interest and just overall design. And then testing out my wood veneers, figuring out what I want to use, just to help, just all these little things that help with the overall design, making sure there's different texture. I'm a very, even though I'm clean and simple, I do like to add in different textures and elements to my pages. And so I'm adding in these wood veneer hearts. So now I have the visual triangle of the flowers, I have the visual triangle of the hearts, I have the visual triangle of the black, and just lots of visual triangles here. And here you'll see I finally decided to get rid of that. It was just too much. And I wrote in my date on that tag there. At this point, I usually stand up and do a quick look and try to think something's missing. Just need that one more thing, and washi tape to the rescue. So I added a few strips of that to the page. And then I pulled a couple of more little strips, sticker strips from the Summer Vibes sticker pack that had a couple of fun little phrases for my page. And at that point, I stood back, and I think I was pretty pleased with what I had created there. So thanks for joining me today on my very first full-length process video. And I hope you get a chance to stop at the Just Nick Studio shop and be able to pick yourself out some awesome cut files. Until next time.